Good evening, this is your AI host, Jay. I'm here with the automatically generated, Journato, evening headlines on January 26, 2024. Weather tracker, Tropical Cyclone Kirrily brings 170 km/h gusts to Queensland. The Guardian, monster cyclone Kirrily strikes, tens of thousands with no power as cyclone hits major city. Daily Mail, storm hits Australia with strong winds and power outages, but weakens from cyclone to tropical storm. The Independent, Cyclone Kirrily starting to hit Townsville. Townsville Bulletin, editor's view, we stand beside them, as FNQ starts Cyclone Kirrily cleanup. France set to tighten immigration law after court scraps some measures. BBC, France blocks plan to scrap 90-day visa rule for British expats. The Telegraph, French court annuls large part of country's new immigration law. The Guardian, protests against anti-immigration sentiment across Europe, the world. ABC News, Australia, French council strikes down second home exemption for Britons. US election 2024's, latest news, polls and results. The Independent, Donald Trump warns Nikki Haley's billionaire backers to halt support. Financial Times, Donald Trump mocks rivals, gives them weird names. Tries to bully Nikki Haley, World News, WION. WION, the Trump MAGA purge, WSJ. Why are European defense leaders talking about war? The Guardian, as Trump looms, top EU politician calls for European nuclear deterrent. Politico Europe, Europe's Trump challenge, is it ready to fight Vladimir Putin alone? Politico Europe, Europe is failing to step up on defense. The Telegraph, Europe slouches toward military reality, WSJ. Moment twins taken and sold at birth reunite with mum. BBC.com, Georgia's stolen children, twins sold at birth reunited by TikTok video. BBC, lost, only to be found, how twins separated at birth reunited through TikTok. Hindustan Times, twins stolen at birth reunited decades later by TikTok video, BBC News. BBC News, twins, separated at birth, lived in same city. Reunited after 19 years. Head of US Navy says UK should reconsider size of armed forces in rare intervention. The Independent, UK should consider raising defense spending, says US Navy Secretary. The Guardian, reconsider size of your forces, head of US Navy tells Britain. The Times, letters, complacent politicians have allowed Britain's fighting power to wither. The Telegraph, US Secretary of the Navy urges Britain to increase the size of its armed forces. US, disappointed, Hungary taking so long to approve Sweden joining NATO. The Guardian, Turkey's Erdogan signs off on Sweden's NATO bid. Politico Europe, Macron to visit Sweden to talk EU defense amid Hungarian NATO bloc. EURACTIV, Turkey's President Erdogan signs off on Sweden's NATO membership ratification. France 24 English, last man standing, Orban faces calls from US, Europe to unblock Sweden's NATO bid. The world is changing too fast for us, organic farmers on urgency of French protests. The Guardian, live, protesting French farmers head towards Paris on tractors. Reuters, France travel warning as UK Foreign Office changes guidance. Liverpool Echo, latest, which roads will French farmers be blocking on Wednesday? The Local France, French farmers protest as government prepares to announce new measures. As it happened. Donald Trump storms out of court during closing arguments in damages trial. Sky News, defiant Trump takes legal risk on stand in New York defamation trial. BBC, Donald Trump storms out of closing arguments in E. Jean Carroll trial. Alabama inmate Kenneth Smith killed by nitrogen in first execution of its kind. The Independent, Kenneth Eugene Smith, Alabama carries out first nitrogen gas execution. BBC, Eugene Kenneth Smith, first person executed with nitrogen gas took 22 minutes to die. The Telegraph, this method is barbaric, Eric Guster on US experimental nitrogen execution, Good Morning Britain. ICJ ruling, UN top court orders Israel to prevent genocidal acts in Gaza but not to end war. BBC, Middle East crisis live, ICJ ruling. Reminder: no state is above the law, says Palestine as Netanyahu calls genocide claim a disgrace. The Guardian. ICJ president says conditions to issue provisional measures against Israel have been met. The Times of Israel. Don't knock the judges who ruled on genocide in Israel, Malcolm Rifkind. The Independent. War on Gaza. After the ICJ ruling, Egypt is complicit as Israel starves Palestinians. This was all for the news. Thanks for listening. Please do not forget to like and subscribe.